Do you commit to the 6 priority points there?
I fully commit to that. Beautiful points. We commit to all these 6 points.
That's wonderful.
जो violence होती है, जिस भी कानून की वजह से.
Now is the time that when they are seeking our votes, that parties really need to commit to concrete action. The fact that a number of parties have made clear commitments, and some not because they felt like it, but because they were forced to. The fact that it is clear that their ignoring of it does not make it an election issue. I think that is very important. Our first point is actually to transform the misogynist, patriarchal aspects of our cultures. And that is a difficult thing, but governments have shown that they can and have led this kind of behavioral change in the past. For example, if you look at the rollback of polio, the eradication of polio, the rollback of HIV/AIDS, these required a concerted governmental effort, which was successful, central governmental effort. Make the laws count, you know? Like, there's no point having a law on paper unless you get every ministry across the board to look at exactly what is required to implement those laws, right? Like, so do you need more infrastructure? Do you need more staff? Do you need more female staff? Do you need more training? What would complete victory mean? I think complete victory would mean that the Indian elections were manifesto, which in Hindi is the Mahila Azadi Ghoshna Patra, which in Bengali is the Jatiyo Nari Ishtihar. It's been translated into 6 languages. If this were to be the common minimum program of any government that came to power, of any parliament that sat in 2014, and of the electorate, of the citizenry that are putting these people in positions of power and holding them accountable to these commitments, that to me would be real victory.
Andhra Pradesh has had World Bank support the state, and the World Bank money was supposed to reduce poverty. It has also organized, more than 10 million women are organized in our state. Unfortunately, this has not led to reduced violence against women. In fact, Andhra Pradesh stands on top of the list of the most violent states in the country till last year. My colleague received a call saying that there were infant babies in a village, and the family was planning to kill them because they had 4 daughters, and this was the 5th pregnancy, and there were 2 baby girls born, and they were supposed to be a very poor family. So we just set out to find the place and to intervene and see what we could do, because we didn't know the village and we didn't know what we could do. But eventually we did rescue those 2 girls, and I asked the government to set up a fact-finding committee. We documented some 12 different ways of how the community was killing their own daughters. And then we asked ourselves the question, how can we stop it? Because 2 people or 20 people can't really go and police a whole region. So we decided that the only way this could be stopped was that if women in the area decided that this is something we need to stop. We set up this organization to actually work towards gender equality. So I and my colleagues, we first started working with men who were working in the voluntary sector, and trying to help them to get a perspective, so that when they go into the community, they as middle class men don't bring their own discriminatory attitudes towards the community. So we feel that as women activists, we are really struggling for a law-based society. We want gender justice, and we want justice for all poor communities in our country. So feminist organizations like us, we are trying to work with women. We are trying to address men so that they develop a sensitive and a sympathetic aspect in themselves. For example, for us, local governance, we have the panchayat, which is the local governance body. We have last year worked with these governing bodies, which are men and women, to make resolutions that they will not allow any girl child to be killed in their area of influence. So these are the kinds of things which we hope will become norm setting.
No more violence, justice. peaceful communities.
Justice, justice.
No more violence.
Justice, justice.
E. Wensler, the founder of V-Day and the woman who thought of 1 billion rising, has been a friend for about 11 years. So she called me about 8 months before 1 billion rising took place for the first time on 14th February 2013 and asked me if I would coordinate 1 billion rising in South Asia. It's been quite amazing to see that in 207 countries of the world, people stood up against violence against women and girls. And when I say people, it doesn't mean women only, it means women, men, children. It means parliamentarians, judges, and in India, it coincided with the December rape 2012. So somewhere the anger, the energy, the mobilization in India was much bigger than perhaps it would have been if that rape hadn't been there and if that rage had not been there. And I'm one of those people who really feels that we have some very progressive laws. Laws have progressed. I think we, the people, need to change much more than the laws, than the police, than the state, than the judges.
What December 16th gave us, all of us, was a platform for us to, for women to talk about these issues from their own angle, from their right, from an angle that safety is not a luxury, it's a right to live. I am only asking my right to freedom, to be in the city as an equal citizen, to access these public places as equally as men do. But it also gave men an opportunity to shed their masculine behavior, to question their entire identity of machoism and come out and say that we believe in equal rights of women. It was a platform for us to challenge that fear that's led women to, define themselves in particular areas, to define their work, to define who they are. They wanted to know why in Delhi there were no public toilets for women. They wanted to know why a police station doesn't have a help desk. For example, when we went to the Delhi Metro in 2010, they did not know what we're talking about. I mean, women's safety was not some. When we talked about women's safety, it was okay. We have a fire alarm or we have a dog squad. But this was a time when people wanted to go beyond it. And when, even if they were talking about CCTV cameras, and when we talked about that there is a difference between security and safety, that difference was something that people were ready to understand and also identify. So this, for us from 2012 to 2014, the identification of forms of violence has begun. Today in Delhi, Delhi police says that they at least register 4 cases of rape every day. Now that's a huge statistics. Yes, in a way it shows that Delhi in terms of crime against women has a lot to do, but it also shows that the silence is now broken. It's a time where we can stage our own opinions. It's a time where we have a space to negotiate with these parliamentarians and the prospective parliamentarians to actually get their policies into perspective from a gender lens. And this is exactly why during Delhi elections we came out with a manifesto of demands from a women's lens, because what we clearly saw was that all the 3 major political parties that were contesting the elections that time did not have anything that guaranteed women's from a human rights, from a right to freedom perspective.